I'm a warrior in battle in this life, this war. Inferior men get rattled, the cattle slaughter the horde. I'm Sun Tzu on the battlefield, I take by force. I run through you, I'm battered steel, I take but give more. It's the creed of the cage, I'm a breed that's pure game. I unleash furious rage, I'm a beast eating my prey. I feast, release, vengeance and cease your whole game. No.
He's a tough fighter, Devin called he's a tough fighter. He's a great wrestler, and I saw his fight against Daniel Cormier. He did pretty well, and like Greg Jackson said, it's going to be another big test for me. And I'm ready for this.
One more question about, I mean, kind of in general, I don't want, you know, you fought for a lot of organizations, but everyone knows you, UFC, of course, champion there. You've been with Affliction.
3 times.
What?
3 times.
3 times champion? Okay, so let's make sure we get that. You've been with Affliction and ONE FC and Strikeforce. John, you okay?
Go ahead, yeah, go
okay.
ahead. Like I said, I have to beat Devin Cole now the sort of this card of first event. You know, it's very important for me, and what's very important for me too is because it's going to be on NBC Sport. You know, it's going to be a lot of free viewers, and this is very good for fighters, and this is very good for me.
And that, I think, says a lot too, that these big media companies now, Bellator has Viacom, NBC is now WSOF. What does that, I mean, that says, A, they believe in the sport. What does that say? That says that...
I think so. If like big companies behind, big broadcast company, the NBC behind the WSOF, it's definitely very good. It might be very huge.
I mean, you're with Count Tim Sylvia's a win, at least I am. Do you feel, do you think something's changed? Is it Greg Jackson? You know, do you feel that you're on a good upswing right now?
Greg Jackson, he's that guy who I believe 100%, you know, and if I might come to his gym after my fight against Emelianenko on Affliction card in 2009, right now it might be a totally different story, but better do this later than never, you know, and I think I'm gonna stick with Greg Jackson until I'm gonna done fighting. You know, this guy who motivated me, who supported me, because after 4 losses, I was miserable. I was very disappointed, of course, to myself, to some of my trainers, you know, who said like you should retire because this and that. And I was so mad, and I called Greg Jackson. I asked his opinion. What do you think about it? Should I retire, or are you going to give me another chance? You're going to try to help me climb back on the top, be a champion again one day? And he said, absolutely. Just come to my gym, come to New Mexico, Albuquerque, and you're going to start everything from a new page.
When you look back, were they just fights where they just didn't go your way? I mean, for whatever reason. Or do you think there was something structural in how you were training? Can you point to anything about that period?
It doesn't really make sense right now to say why is that happened, you know. It's the fact I lost 4 fights, and at that time I was, of course, younger a little bit. I might be a little bit, I was a little bit cocky probably, because when I fought Emelianenko, I spent 4 months in Los Angeles training Freddie Roach in Los Angeles. I sparred with the top boxers who like top 10 in each organization, WBS, WBC, WBO, you know. I didn't kill those guys, but I did very well, and you know, when fight starts against Emelianenko, I felt like I got him, you know. I start like, I put my hands down, you know. I became a little bit cocky fighter when like people start screaming, Arlovski, people this and that, and I jumped with a fly knee. I never did this before. First time I did against Ben Russell, you know, and everybody went crazy. Wow! And I said, oh, okay, I got you. And you know, he didn't even like see where he punched me. He just like throws a punch and lights out, you know. And John McCartney looked me up and said, it's done, buddy. And after that, another loss to Roger. At that time, I was focused on my pro boxing debut, you know, and I thought, okay, it's just another fighter on my fight. I lost Rogers, then Bigfoot, Haritonov, you know. At that time, I had some personal problems, and I wasn't battling for my MMA life, you know, battle of my MMA career, and like I said, I was very miserable, you know.
What, I don't want to harp on
a lot of people gone, you know, who like who like I thought they were my friends, you know, just couple guys stick with me, and you know, it's like it's life lesson for me too, and I took experience, and everything happened for a reason, you know.
I was gonna ask you, and I'm not gonna harp on it, but I watched that Fedor fight, and I swore you were about to win that fight, and I think the four people I was with are like, he's gonna do it, and does that really weigh on you even still, or do you think that lingered with you after, and that was part of that went into those next fights and caused some of the outcomes? And I mean, because that would have obviously changed your life if that finished that fight, yeah?
I can say one thing, after 4 losses, I choose what's more important for me, you know, and if like, before Emelianenko fight, I can, like, for example, went out a couple weeks before the fight, you know, and I did some stupid things, but now I just focus what's more important for me. I need, like I said, to rebuild my career. I want to be a champion again, and right now I'm training with Greg Jackson. Like, I'm gonna move to Albuquerque with my family. This is the right place for training camp. Great sparring partners, great trainers. You know, it's.
Or is it just that there's other great fighters to spar with, or is it their minds?
Oh, definitely. This is their minds. I had great trainers in Chicago, you know, and I thought they're the best, and I think they're the best in their discipline. But when I came to Albuquerque, I spent a couple of weeks with Greg Jackson. When I first time saw him, I said, "Come on, let's be serious. This guy he gonna show me something, teach me something." But when I started work with him, you know, this guy, he's so smart. He's all the time educate himself. He's like all the time in a good mood, because, you know, if I'm in a bad mood, I don't care who in front of me, who next to me. I just in a bad mood. It's period. I'm gonna be like in my work. This guy all the time in a good mood, you know, and what was kind of show me that he has like a big heart when we like run. I remember in the Sentinels, and it was like last spring probably, and you know, like was exhausted. It was my first time, you know. I said, "Hey brother, I'm next to you. If you need my help there is in my hand, you know, just keep it and let's run together." I said, "Wow." And like me, it's like a lot of fighters, you know, and he's like running with everybody. He spent like time with everybody, and I said, "Wow." And at that time I said, "Yeah, this is my trainer. I'm gonna stick with him." And John, you know, when I trained in Chicago, I never thought that I'm gonna like for example, my boxing technique gonna be like so wild, you know. But he said, "Listen, this is MMA. We have to like kind of small gloves, you know." And he kind of opened my eyes, and like I said, I'm very happy that I'm right now sticking with guys from New Mexico.
Okay. How do you feel when you hear people criticize about your chin?
I'm gonna punch you right now.
Yeah.
I guess everybody has their own opinion, but I didn't see anybody who says this straight to my face. My answer is gonna be like, wear some boxing gloves and step with me and I'm gonna punch you. In the heavyweight division, sometimes it's all about one punch, you know. But I hope I shut a lot of mouths after my last fight against Tim Silva and one FC Cup in the Philippines, Manila. Because Tim, he landed like few good right hands, and actually he hurt me in the end of the first round, and you know, and then survived. And my chin fine.
Keep going, just to get back.
Right now I'm in the beginning of my MMA career. I'm like every other heavyweights in the line, you know, for my big fights, for my title fights, and I feel like a baby right now, step by step, you know, one step at a time. Next step gonna be Devin call, and we'll see what's gonna happen after.
How have you seen the heavyweight division change over, you know, your time in the sport? Is it just that everyone now is much more diversified, the skill sets, or you know, how has it changed from when you started to today, as far as the type of heavyweight and their skills and what's standing in front of you now?
Right now it's a lot of tough heavyweights, you know, and if you want to be the best, you have to fight with the best guys, and definitely sports changes, skills change, like heavyweight became more like fighters, you know, and I understand I have to like train more in each discipline, even more than I spend time right now in the gym. I have to spend even more.
Fights about how you end fights, or is it just get the win any way necessary? Or are you thinking, I gotta be exciting, I can...
No, definitely I want to be excited. I want to knock people out, but sometimes you know it's not possible. Sometimes you can win by decision or by like submission or something. Definitely like a lot of knockouts, and I think he might be right, you know, because he's running a big company, and he knows what's good for his business, and definitely all fans like to see knockouts, a lot of blood, you know. Nobody doesn't want to see when people like hug each other or like wrestling, you know, like 15 minutes, for example. Everybody of course likes knockouts.
Can you
And
give
if you want to be excited, if you want to be excited fighter, you have to like sometimes like push yourself and try to knock your opponent.
we're doing this question with a lot of fighters over the next couple months, and eventually we'll...
National wrestling team, because all the best wrestlers from Russia, they're from Dagestan, you know, and I remember when I first time came to train with them, it like was like 80 or 90 people, you know, and every like sparring match for them, like wrestling match for them, it was like a sparring, you know, all the time cut their eyebrows, lips, you know, like or cheek, it's like they wrestle like they fighting, you know, and it's good that they make some friends over there, and definitely when I'm gonna have some time, because I understand right now, even like somebody can say, oh, Arlovski, he's a great striker, but he sucks in jiu-jitsu or wrestling. That's why I need to like spend more time training with these good guys in wrestling and those disciplines, wrestling and jiu-jitsu, boxing too, you know.
What strikers do you like to watch? Will you ever stop on a Saturday night to make sure you see certain strikers in the sport? Are there anybody you want to see, or you like Andrei Silva, anybody?
I like to watch some light boxers, you know, like Devin's Flash, and my favorite fighter boxer was Johnny Duck, of course, Mike Tyson, and I like all these combinations, you know, not just like flashy, but like power behind, you know.
Okay, the last questions are, and again, I ask you outside, just what have you seen